I was, for you young people, I was married back in the 80s. I don't know if you weren't born yet, but let's just say after 10 years, when it was over, being abandoned and abused, we'll just put it that way. There was a lot of hard feelings, and it took me a long time to heal from that and forgive, and a lot of those steps that you have to take. And I moved to Georgia, and I had to contact my ex-husband because I needed a copy of our divorce decree, and I didn't have one, and because he did the divorce back then. It was when there was a newspaper, and he didn't want his clients to see it in the paper, because back then they listed everything in the paper. So he did it in a different county, and I was young and naive and had no clue what was going on. And so anyway, I had to contact him to get a copy of it, and in his manipulative, unkind way, I finally got it. And so fast forward a couple more decades, and I'm back here in York, and I needed a copy of it for when I was doing my Social Security stuff. And I looked everywhere, and everything I own is in storage, but that's a story for another night. And I couldn't find it, and I dug around, and I couldn't, and I had to call him. I had to contact him, and I didn't even know if I knew how to contact him because it had been so long. And I prayed and I prayed. And I was like, Lord, I don't want to talk to this man, but I did. And so in his kind, manipulative way, he had a copy, but he would not mail it. He made me come pick it up down in Red Line. So I went through every scenario in my head. Okay, if he treats me like this, I'm not going to respond that way. I'm going to respond like this. If he gets unkind, then I'm going to not respond. I have forgiven. I'm not afraid of him anymore. I'm telling myself I'm not afraid. So I get there, and he answers the door, and it's like seeing somebody that you think you know, but you don't really know them because he had a beard the whole time. He didn't have a beard, and he didn't age really very well, which kind of made me like, ha, ha, ha. So he was whispering, so I don't know if it was because of his wife or a client, because he hadn't retired yet. But the whole thing lasted like a minute or two. And I was like, it was like I had no emotions one way or the other. And it was like totally freeing, and it was fine. And then just a few months ago, or maybe even a month ago, I got a text from this man. And he's like, what's your birth date? And I'm like, who is this? And then he said, well, this is Dave is his name. And he said he needed my birth date for his wife's Social Security because he's married. This is wife number 3. And so he couldn't remember it. And so I texted him back and made sure he had the correct information and all this. And then I said, well, you are getting older. And he's like, yeah, he's 70. I'm like, oh, yeah, I would be married to an old man. So I was like, oh. So anyway, but it was kind of like, oh, that was weird timing. Well, then I knew, just a few weeks ago, somebody sent me a picture from the television of him and this woman standing out front of the West York Police Department. His wife is the mother of the young police officer that was killed. And when I saw that, my first thought was, thank the Lord she doesn't have to go through this alone. My thought went to her, not him. And I was able, I had to wait because it was like I had never made the connection. I didn't know. And so I waited, and I prayed about it, and I was able to send him a text that he responded to, and it was just like there was no hard feelings. I was so glad that I was able to reach out in a kind manner, and that he has been able to be there for her.